Hello, chismosas y chismosos, and welcome back to Bay Area Housewife of True Crime. Welcome back to the Hans Reiser series. We are at part 8. As a reminder, topics may be triggering. Viewer and listener discretion is very strongly advised. The people mentioned are innocent until proven guilty in court. On Tuesday, September 5th of 2006, Officer Ed Presnell arrived at Nina's bestie's home at 9 p.m. The officer asked Ellen to call Hans. He answered, and Ellen explained that she believed Nina was missing. The kids were with her and asked if he wanted her to take them to school the next day. He answered with a short uh-huh. Ellen continued with saying that she knew that Nina had gone to his house to drop off the kids on Sunday, and that to her knowledge, he was the last person to have seen Nina on that day. Ellen asked Hans if he knew where Nina was, and Hans told her that he needed to talk to his lawyer. At 9 p.m., Hans picked up his mom, Bev, from her friend Mark's house. They had just gotten back from Burning Man that morning. Hans appeared to look tired and did not say anything about the mother of his children being missing. Hans also was driving Bev's Honda Hybrid, and he usually drove her CRX. She inquired about it, and Hans told her that the CRX's battery was dead. Bev asked where the CRX was, and he would not tell her. Bev and her friend Mark, was also an artist, met at Burning Man in 1998. They became inseparable besties themselves who organized projects for the festival. Speaking of Burning Man, during my time as a civil litigation paralegal, I worked on several unaliving cases that occurred at Burning Man. Some were intentional, where people would run into the fire. Others were not. It gets wild out there. If you're not familiar with what Burning Man is, it's basically a yearly 9-day long arts festival in the middle of the desert, and that ends with lighting a big ass fire. At 9:21 p.m., that's when Hans got the call from Ellen asking if he knew where Nina was, because it was not the missing woman's husband who reported her missing, but her best friend, Miss Ellen Doran, and her boyfriend, Anthony Zografos. That's when Hans said that he needed to talk to his lawyer. When she handed the phone to Officer Presnell, Hans told him that it was okay for Ellen to keep the kids overnight and that he would pick them up the next day. If he wasn't acting sus already, on Tuesday, September 5th of 2006 at 10 p.m., Hans started doing something he rarely ever did: clean. Neighbors reported seeing Hans dressed in winter gear with a hooded hunting jacket hosing off the driveway. The morning of Wednesday, September 6th of 2006, Hans finally told his mom that Nina was missing. The next day, September 6th of 2006, the same day at 10 a.m., Officer Ryan Gill with the missing persons unit in the Oakland Police Department's Youth and Family Service Division drove to Nina's residence. She lived on the corner of 49th and Coronado. In his report, he wrote, "Home appeared to be in good condition with no obvious signs of a struggle," end quote. On Thursday, September 7th of 2006, Hans used his mom's hybrid to take the kids to school and immediately after drove to criminal defense attorney William Dubois' office in downtown Oakland. Hans told Bill that his Russian-born wife was missing and that she had their passports, as Rory and Nayo were dual citizens. When OPD officers Michael Weisenberg and Julio Pinzon got to Bev's house at 9:40 a.m. on September 8th, 2006, and asked if they could take a look around, she declined, saying, and I quote, "I just feel intruded upon." That same day, Rory and Nayo were interviewed by CPS, and Rory said that his mother lied about him being scared of video games and his weak wrists to the court. Rory also said that the last time he saw his mom was when she dropped them off at his dad's residence and remembered giving her a big hug goodbye as she was leaving. That evening, Hans went to Barnes & Noble in Berkeley and purchased 2 murder books for $28.25. Homicide, A Year of the Killings Streets by David Simon and Masterpieces of Murder by Jonathan Goodman. On Saturday, September 9th of 2006, Nina's car, the mom car of all mom cars, a Honda Odyssey minivan, was found abandoned on Fernwood, on the 1500 block of Fernwood in Oakland. As officers approached the van, they noticed the horrible emanating smell of spoiled groceries inside. Nina's cell phone was also found with the battery detached. Nina's purse was also found inside the car with her driver's license, credit cards, a check made out to her landlord for rent, appointment reminder cards, the back license plate read Namesys and Trees Are Fast. PD arrived to Bev's Exeter home with a search warrant at 7 a.m. on Wednesday, September 13th. The warrant authorized a search of the home, the Honda CRX, and the Honda Hybrid. However, those cars were not there, and instead police saw Bev had rented a Chevy Malibu. When police asked her where her other cars were, Bev told them that after she found the Hybrid at Bayfair in San Leandro, because Hans had dumped it there, she decided to hide it at her friend Mark's house. When police finally got a hold of the CRX, they found the front passenger seat was completely missing. The bull skull and tambourine that had been used at Hans and Nina's wedding were in the master bedroom belonging to Bev. Also on September 13th of 2006, Alameda County Commissioner Nancy Lonsdale ordered that Rory and Nayo be removed from the custody of Hans and Nina. By this time, Cheryl Hicks was representing Hans with Family Law Matters. Hans failed to show up to the hearing scheduled for the next day. On September 15th of 2006 at 7 p.m., a vigil for Nina was held at Montclair Park. Hans did not make it to this either. On September 16th of 2006, Anthony Sografos turned over Nina's toothbrush, laptop keys, checkbook, and credit card statements over to police.